Alright, let's dive into a story that's equal parts absurd, political, and frankly, a bit baffling. Imagine this. A world-renowned performing arts center, the Kennedy Center, gets dragged into a legal battle with a jazz drummer. Sounds like the setup for a bizarre comedy, right? But no, this actually happened. And the result? The Kennedy Center has been ordered to pay Chuck Redd, the drummer in question, a whopping $250,000 in legal fees. Let me break this down for you because it's not just about the money, it's about what this says about power, politics, and the arts. First, let's set the stage. The Kennedy Center, a cultural landmark in Washington, D.C., has always been a symbol of artistic excellence and bipartisan support for the arts. But in 2026, things took a strange turn. Trump allies, who had been installed in leadership roles at the center, decided to rename it the Donald J. Trump and John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. Yes, you heard that right. Personally, I think this was a move that screamed political overreach. The Kennedy Center isn't just a building. It's a cultural institution meant to transcend politics. Adding Trump's name felt like a blatant attempt to co-opt its legacy, and it didn't sit well with a lot of people, including Chuck Redd. Redd, a jazz drummer who had led the center's annual Christmas concert since 2006, decided to take a stand. He informed the venue that he and his fellow musicians wouldn't be performing that year, citing their opposition to the name change. What's fascinating here is the courage it takes to say no to a powerful institution. Redd wasn't just canceling a gig. He was making a statement about artistic integrity and the politicization of culture. But the Kennedy Center, under its Trump-appointed leadership, didn't take it lightly. They sued Redd, claiming he had breached a contract. Here's where things get even more interesting. Redd's defense was simple but effective. There was no signed contract. The judge, Tanya Jones-Bossier, saw right through the Kennedy Center's claims and dismissed the lawsuit in June. But it didn't end there. Bossier went a step further and ordered the Kennedy Center to pay Redd's legal fees, calling it a good faith evaluation. In my opinion, this was a slap on the wrist for the Kennedy Center's leadership. It's one thing to file a lawsuit, but to do so without a legitimate basis? That's just wasteful and, frankly, petty. What makes this really interesting is the broader context. This wasn't an isolated incident. In May, a federal court ruled that adding Trump's name to the Kennedy Center was illegal and ordered it removed. An appeals court upheld that decision in July. So, the lawsuit against Redd felt like a last-ditch effort to assert control, a control that was already slipping away. It's almost like the Trump-appointed leadership was doubling down on a losing battle, and Redd became collateral damage. But let's take a step back and think about the bigger picture. The Kennedy Center is supposed to be a place where art thrives, free from political interference. When it becomes a battleground for partisan agendas, something's gone wrong. Ben Folds, who testified before Congress about this issue, called it a hyper-politicized environment. I couldn't agree more. Art should be a unifying force, not a tool for political gain. What this really suggests is that institutions like the Kennedy Center are only as strong as the people who lead them. When leadership prioritizes political loyalty over artistic integrity, everyone loses. Chuck Redd's case is a reminder that individuals can push back against overreach, even when the odds seem stacked against them. And the fact that he won and got his legal fees covered feels like a small victory for common sense. So what's the takeaway here? Personally, I think it's this: art and politics will always intersect, but they shouldn't collide. The Kennedy Center saga is a cautionary tale about what happens when the line between them gets blurred. It's also a testament to the power of standing up for what's right, even when it's inconvenient. As we wrap up, I'm left wondering, how many more stories like this are out there? How many other institutions are being quietly politicized? And what can we do to protect the spaces that are meant to bring us together? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think about this whole situation, because honestly, this story isn't just about a drummer and a legal battle. It's about the kind of world we want to live in.